Good afternoon and welcome to the Happy Half Hour. I'm Leigh Kubin.
Sandra Priestley, welcome to the podcast and happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. What you drinking?
I'm drinking out of a can again, but this is my very favorite. I think I've drank this before on the podcast, but it's Corona Sunbrew.
Hmm.
And it tastes the most like Corona. I like the taste of beer, but
Yeah.
I'm not into the calories. So I'm drinking it with clamato juice.
Ah,
I like it with my beer, so that's what I'm
okay.
drinking. What are you drinking today?
Well, I'm branching out and we have this cute new little tea shop in town. It's called Serenity Cup, like TEA cup.
Love it.
But this is one of their little packages. It's Blue Harmony tea and it's loose leafed tea and you just stick it in the hot water, but it's blue. I wish that you can kind of see. It's
Yeah.
blue.
And so you could read your tea leaves after?
You know that I might have to do that. I don't know how to do that.
I don't either, but you never know.
I
Try
bet
it
I
and
could Google
come
that
up
shit.
with. Yeah.
I've got to tell you about some magical. I mean, I have been having these magical moments. It feels like more and more frequently.
Mm.
And last night, Paul and I went to business after hours with the chamber, and I was talking to one of my girlfriends there, and she said, and I was telling her that I was moving and what was going on, and she goes, I really need to hook you up with my friend. And she told me her name, and I don't know her. And she said her and her husband are opening up some kind of a wellness center, and it's in the works right now, like it's not happening tomorrow. But she's like, I just kind of feel like y'all need to connect. And I was like, okay, connect us.
Mhm.
I don't really think anything about it. And then Paul and I leave and we go to dinner, and we are sitting at dinner, and I'm watching this TV that's kind of across from me, but I keep looking at this couple that's right under the TV. And I don't know what just kept me going. And I'm like, why are you staring? I mean, I thought, what a cute little couple. And then going back to Chive. And then I would look at him again. And then all of a sudden I went, oh my God, that's her. So I think I'm crazy because I don't know that that's her. I don't know what this woman looks like.
Wow.
So I pull up Facebook, plug her name in, pull up her page to see her profile picture. And I said, honey, does this look like that woman? And he said, it could be. And I said, well, I guess there's only one way to find out.
Now, this is the second time you've done this
Yeah,
in a restaurant.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
right? Like you talked about this
That
before.
that Teresa lady that I hadn't seen in 20 some odd years. Yeah.
Right.
So I walk over there and I was like, nah. I mean, if it's not, it's not going to be a big deal. And I
Yeah.
asked her and she said, well, yes, I am. And I introduced myself and she goes, oh my God, I just got a message from Emily telling me that we need to connect.
Ah.
We sat, we were talked for so long that they're like, her and her husband are like, just come join us.
Oh my
So
gosh.
we sat with them and had the best conversation
Wow.
and talked about like what we're doing in our business and what their business is going to look like and just unbelievable stuff. And I thought, if I had ignored that nudge, that,
Mhm.
and especially when that's her, if I had
Well,
dismissed it,
and I said this exact, it feels like we had this exact same conversation. But when you were talking about Teresa, like
Hmm.
what, a year or 2 years ago, I
Yeah.
remember saying most people would not.
Yeah.
Like most people would not go and do that. Most people would just go, is it? Isn't it? Most people would not go up and say, hi, are you a person I've never met before? And you may or may not have been mentioned, or I may or may not have been mentioned already. Like,
Yeah.
wow, that's so cool.
And I was flying high. Like it was just in that moment of awe and
Mhm.
gratitude. And so I came home and I texted my friend and I said, thank you. And because we took a selfie and sent it to her.
Oh, cute.
Like, you're never going to believe, the girl did, you're never going to believe who I ran into. And so interesting because she's very, very religious.
Oh,
And she's like, look at what God just did. And I was sitting here going, look at what the universe just did. Look at that internal guidance that I got.
yeah.
Same thing, two different perspectives, but we're
Mhm.
both right. It's just our difference in connection
Yeah.
means the same thing.
Well, it's a higher power of some
Yeah,
type
yeah,
or higher guidance.
yeah.
Hmm. Wow.
So I have been noticing the more that I'm talking about these cool, amazing things unfolding, the more of them are showing up
Yeah.
over and over again.
I feel as though when that happens, it's like when you recognize, same as gratitude, but
Hmm.
when you acknowledge, especially out loud, but when you acknowledge that some miracle has happened, I swear to you, the universe is like, she gets it. Okay, let's send her more. It's like a reward for listening.
So here's how Joe Dispenza would explain it.
Mm,
Your brain is giving you more of what you are focused on.
right?
So when you put it out there that you're happy and you're excited and you're looking for these magical moments in your life, it's like, okay, that's what she wants to see. And when we're bitching and moaning and mad at this one and that one, okay, that's what she wants to see. So I don't know if it's as a reward as much as it is attraction.
Well, yeah. When he talks, I always think that it's more scientific and it's mental. Like it's like a like a physiological brain
Hmm.
science.
Yeah.
And while a lot of the times that's how I explain feng shui. But I think, even though I don't know, I can barely believe that there's planets suspended in the air and past our galaxy is other galaxies and there's no end. Like I can bear, my brain is it really hurts thinking about that.
Hmm.
But I love to believe that it's just magic.
Oh,
That
it feels
there's
like
no
magic.
real
Yeah.
that there's no real like focus on, what you put out there, you get back even. And then it's like, or what you're paying attention to, all of a sudden you pay more attention to. While I believe that,
Hmm.
I love just this idea of, I don't know, when the universe hands you a gift and you acknowledge it as the gift, it wants to give you more gifts.
Hmm.
Like so whether I'm right or not, doesn't really matter
It
because
doesn't. Who
to
knows?
it feels so much fun. And it's kind of like I also feel when you show up consistently, whether it's for workouts or drinking water
Hmm.
or in your business or showing up with gratitude every single day, You will be rewarded in some way,
Yeah.
maybe related, maybe not related, but it's like you prove to the universe you're committed to something.
Yeah.
Magic just happens like that,
Hmm.
you know? So,
I mean, it's no different than when my yard gets out of hand and I get busy and I'm not out there tending to it every day. And then I walk out there one day and go, well, hell, weeds all in my rock beds. When I'm inconsistent, and I have been, it's funny, me and Easton have this new ritual, and we might have been doing it for a couple of weeks now, but every day, we go outside when I get home from work and he gets home from school, and we each go pull 10 weeds.
fun.
And you would be surprised at that little bit of, now I'm going to be honest, I pick more than 10, but the 10 gets me out the door because that's going to take me 10 seconds. And I was pushing him in his swing last night, and I'm like, before we do that, we got to pick our weeds. And so he's going and he's counting. And he's like, Julie, you've already got your 10. And I said, well, I want to get 20 now. And so he just goes along and just whatever I do. But that works with anything, with our relationships, with our business, with our yard, with our patterns of thought. Whatever we're focused on intending to is going to clean itself up. So I wrote a little book.
Okay.
Now, I feel silly calling it a book because,
Even though you are a published author.
true, it's 19 pages.
Okay. So it's a booklet.
Yeah, yeah. So I put it
Pamphlet.
in an ebook format.
Nice.
The way this was born is when I started the Connection Challenge. And I started that, I want to say December-ish. But this book came out of that and my experiences with that and kind of like just reflections
Oh,
of
wow.
how we are all so similar and we have segregated ourselves and made everyone else the enemy. And we've got to start talking again because I don't think we're really that far apart. There are some people, of course, that are going to be completely on opposite ends of the spectrum. But for the majority of us, so much common ground. So I'm getting ready to launch everything. And so and the book was just that final little piece because that's going to go out first.
Nice.
And then I'll follow up with the videos and I'll have a group. I'm in a group with some amazing people, that group that I lead through the Chamber of Healthcare Providers.
Right.
And we met today and they were talking about like we were talking about our goals and what's next. And so I just told them because I'm like, I got to start telling people, like, besides the people I'm interviewing. And the one guy is like, send it to me. I will send it to all of my email list. And people just lining up to help. It is unreal.
I love this so much because I feel as though it's the meaning behind it. It's the meaning behind why you're doing these things,
Mhm.
these interviews, and the whole process that really speaks to people. And I think a lot of times we decide to do something, we don't really say why we believe that it's important. We don't really say what's the driving factor.
Mhm.
And then we're disappointed because it sort of goes flat. Like, and we think I see this a lot of times in business where I'll say to one of my clients, and what's the goal here? Like, why are you choosing this path? And the response is, well, I don't know. Like, I
Uh,
don't care if it's to make a fuck ton of money. Like, why are you here? What is your message? Why do you want to share this with the world? Because if you don't have that,
hmm.
it just doesn't have this attraction level.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one will show up for that if you don't know why you're doing it in the first place.
Hmm.
And or if you don't share it, you know? So many people have such an incredible reason why, but they don't share it.
Yeah.
And I think when we're vulnerable, it is powerful.
Hmm.
And I have noticed this too. It's so shocking almost when you're exposed to that deep level of connection with people, you realize, holy shit, I assumed that this person's life was so much different than mine because she comes from the other side of the tracks, you know?
Hmm.
And we're not.
Hmm.
We're not. I
Nope.
have worked with multimillionaires and I've worked with women who are struggling and, you know, have 6 kids and difficulty paying the grocery bills.
Sure.
And we are all the same. We
Mhm.
are all the same. The money is the difference, but like at the core,
Yeah.
we're all the same. We have the same internal problems. We have the
Mhm.
same bitch in the backseat thoughts. We just have different outcomes,
Yeah.
different strengths in different areas, but we all are at the core,
Yeah. Yeah.
minus the outliers.
Well, right. But I think even there's things that have happened. And I think because what happens to us in life shapes us,
Sure.
and our thoughts about what has happened also shape us. But when you start to hear people's stories and understand it, like everything begins to make sense. Oh, that's why she acts the way she does. That's why she does this. Or that's why she attracts money. You were talking about your millionaire friend that said, I did this. My parents didn't give me the money. And you're like, no, but they gave you the mindset.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly.
And that's what we find out when we start talking to people.
Mhm. In a vulnerable way, though, like in a
Oh,
real
mhm.
way, right? Because I think, I don't know if it's social media, I don't think so, but I feel as though we have these surface level, I mean, not me, I don't like those,
Yeah.
but a lot of times we have these surface level conversations. Hey, how's it going? How are you doing? How are your kids? Great, great, great. You know, your life could be falling apart.
And you're not
Your
going to say anything.
your kids are like living in the back alley, scurrying around like a rat. And you're like, yeah, everything is great. Just saw him the other day, you know? And I mean, also, we don't want to drop all of our drama on people, but I love the one-on-one deep connection, deep
Yeah.
vulnerability. How are you doing and how are you feeling about that? And what are your goals?
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah. And there are people that I have to interact with that are just surface level, that I can't, like, they don't respond to the way I speak.
mhm.
So I find myself just being quiet a lot,
Oh, yeah.
because it's like, well, I can't talk about this and I can't talk about this. And it's not that I couldn't, it's just that it would be a look like, why the fuck are you telling me this? Why are we talking about this kind of a thing?
Right.
And so I've just learned, don't say anything.
Mhm.
But it sucks because, like, I want to, like, chew a little bit,
Yeah.
on deep stuff, on good stuff, on what's going right. I don't really need to trauma bond.
Yeah. I love asking people like what they think and why they think the way that they think and what I
Mhm.
mean, like it must be annoying if they're not like this. Only do it once if they're like
Right.
response is, what the fuck is the matter with you? But I love finding someone to talk to that has differing opinions than me,
Hmm.
different religion or spirituality than me,
Yeah.
a different sort of career than me, and just like asking them 1,000 questions, just being
Yeah.
so interested instead of being interesting. Like
Hmm.
I find when you do that, the most enriching conversations happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love nothing more than to just sit down and, I don't know,
Hmm.
expand what I think now,
Yeah.
because a lot of times what comes out of those conversations is something that is completely not what I was thinking or not my belief. And then I get to challenge it, just like Don
Yeah.
Miguel, right?
Hmm.
We
Yeah.
believe it until something comes along that challenges it. And then we get to decide, do I still believe what I used to, or do I want to
Hmm.
take on something more? Or is there something else out there that's greater for me that I never
Yeah.
knew?
Yeah. I'm missing out on. Yeah. I had a weight loss client. She was with me for a few years. She was getting ready to retire. Like, she was a badass woman. She was a minister. She is a minister in addition to working for the government. Very devout Christian. We would talk to each other so openly, and she would ask me questions about things I believed, and I would just tell her. And I would ask her questions, and we taught each other, and we bonded. Even though our beliefs are different, they're also very much the same. And I loved her because she didn't try to change me. And she didn't try to say, oh, you need to believe this or you're going to go to hell. It was, she she had the love of Jesus, or at least the Jesus that I know. And those people are fun.
I was never baptized.
Hmm.
My grandparents were from one church, and my other set of grandparents were from another. And my mom was a young mom, 17 years old.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and she was just tired of the arguing over which church that we would be baptized in. And so she didn't baptize us in either. And it was so interesting because she was saying I don't know, probably 5, 10 years ago, she said, I feel so bad. I'm like, why? I don't go to church. I like, and it's not because I was or was not baptized. Like
Right.
you know, and I have strong spiritual beliefs.
Hmm.
I just don't attend any religious place,
Yeah.
believe them. And it was so interesting because when any of my friends have found out that I'm not baptized, it is this like shock of you're what? You're not? This was in our 20s and 30s when I had these conversations. No one gives a
Sure.
shit if I'm baptized now.
Yeah.
But it was so many different beliefs of, well, you're not going to go to heaven. You're going to be stuck in purgatory. Like, yeah, I don't think I believe in purgatory, but I'm sure it'll be great there anyway if I am. Like, what are you going to do? You don't know. You
Yeah.
believe, but you don't know for sure.
Hmm.
And then the next person would be like, well, you need to be welcome into the church. Why? I don't attend. Like I'm good. I don't, and it was all of this. Well, you're going to go to hell. Like I like heat. I don't know. I don't believe in hell. I'm not sure why you're struggling with this, but it was always such an interesting conversation because they were so shocked that I didn't know anyone that wasn't baptized.
Wow.
Right. And the more conversations I had, the more I could see that they were so ingrained, like their belief in baptism was so ingrained,
Yeah.
but their reasoning was so different between all of them.
Hmm.
And so the way that I could say, Well, the way that I could kind of explain it to at the end was until one of you kind of comes together, until all of you come together and figure out why I should, then I'm just fine
Yeah.
not because
Hmm.
none of your reasons are the same.
Yeah. Well, and
And
it's all rooted in fear.
right.
And
Every single one.
I think about a God that will say, I'm going to give you free will. Do anything you want. But if you don't do these things, I am going to send you to a place where you will eternally burn for the rest of time. You don't die and it's over. Like it is, I I don't know that I want to go be with that God in the afterlife.
Well, I thought he was all forgiving. So I also have said, but you know what? If there are pearly gates and I get there, I'm just going to ask for forgiveness and I'm sure he'll let me in. I'm a pretty cool chick. You know,
Right, right. But that's how we're programmed from such an early age. Is those of us that were raised in it.
yeah,
And I talk about God. I have a stronger connection to God as I see him now, or not him, but God, than I ever did when I went to a church. I'm more
mhm,
connected. I hear more,
yeah,
and I don't, I mean, if that's their path, great, but I
yeah,
don't have to be on your path. But I will let them be them, and they
yeah,
can let me be me.
exactly.
Yes, we'll all have fun.
Yeah. Oh, I love those deep conversations. I love those conversations where it just challenges me to think, you know, do I want to choose something else? And
Hmm.
sometimes it just strengthens my belief in what I
Yeah.
already had,
Hmm.
which is even cooler. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Well, and that's kind of what it was for me last night
yeah,
when she was talking about God did this. And I thought about it and I was like, yeah, yeah, the universe did. I didn't say that out loud. Same thing. But it was one of those moments that I thought, how beautiful is that? She is in the vortex right now, in that bliss,
mhm,
going, how cool is this?
yeah.
That me speaking these things just orchestrated all of this. And that's the goal. Just be in the vortex.
And what I feel is that it doesn't really matter whether you believe it's the universe, whether you believe it's your psychicness, whether you believe it's God, whether you believe it's Buddha. It doesn't, it does, you could believe it's magic. You could
Yeah.
believe it doesn't really matter what it is.
Mm-mm.
But when you experience something that is just so beautiful like that,
Mm-hmm.
brightens your day up and you
Yeah.
start to have faith again, or you strengthen your faith. And so, who the fuck cares what your faith is in?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's just one of those amazing experiences where you go, oh my gosh, there's evidence for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just beautiful.
Yeah. Yep. I love it. But with that, I think we're out of time.
Fine. Wow, I did not anticipate going here.
Uh, I didn't give you at all a heads up.
I know.
Oh, thank you, Sandra. Have a great week. And thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next Thursday on the Happy Half Hour. Bye.
Bye.